Clean Up by Nathan Byron. I can't sleep tonight. I'm too excited because tomorrow, me, my mum and my big brother Jamal are going on holiday to see Grammy and Grampy. It feels as though we've been packing forever, but at last we're ready to go. I'm going to be fist pumping with a turtle, dancing with a dolphin, high-fiving an octopus and surfing the waves like awesome Imani Wilmot. Did you know Imani Wilmot created the first female surf competition in Jamaica? As soon as we arrive, I give Grammy and Grampy a huge hug. My grandparents are the best. They run a whale watching tour and have an animal sanctuary at the back of their house. I can't wait to help out. Grampy tells me we never touch wild animals unless they need to be rescued and cared for. And then it's time to surf. Grammy is really good. Mum and I build a huge sandcastle. Jamal is too busy to help. Oh no, a baby turtle has washed up to the shore and it's all tangled in plastic. I pick up the baby turtle gently and take her to Grammy and Grampy to fix. Grammy says she will do what she can and takes her back to the sanctuary. Plastic is ruining these islands, Rocket, says Grampy sadly. We save as many creatures as we can, but many stay away. People used to come here to see the whales, but we haven't spotted one in a long time. He leads me down the beach. It feels as though there's more plastic than sand. I feel really sad. We need to do something. But what? The next day at the beach, there are people playing in the sand, swimming in the sea, eating ice lollies, but all I notice now is the plastic. Surely they see it too. I need to let everyone know. Did you know that whales eat plastic and it makes them sick? Did you know that nearly half the rubbish in the sea comes directly from careless people? Did you know there are over 5.25 trillion pieces of plastic in the ocean? Soon we have lots of new friends who want to help. It's a clean-up crew. As the day goes on, more and more people join in. We spend the whole day cleaning the beach. Even Jamal helps. The clean-up crew is amazing, and soon the beach is clean. But now what do we do with all the plastic we've collected? Teresa, one of the clean-up crew, has a brainwave. My mum's an artist. We could get her to make something. Yes! Teresa's mum makes awesome bins for the rubbish, and the whole clean-up crew make the front pages of the TV news. Now, no one will forget why we need to clean up. Everyone on the island wants clean beaches, everyone on the island wants clean water, and everyone on the island wants to save the sea life and bring back the whales. The next day, Grammy and Grampy have a barbecue for the whole clean-up crew. The smell of Grammy's special sauce is wafting around the island. And best of all, while everyone's talking and laughing and eating, Grampy and I release the turtle we rescued back into the sea and watch as she swims away. She's all better now. And I just know that one day the whales will come back. Did you know? One day you're going to change the world, Rocket. Hi, so today we are going to look at 3 suffixes. Now a suffix is a group of letters that go on the end of a root word and they change the meaning or the type of the word. So today the 3 suffixes that we are going to look at are these 3. We've got ment, ness and lee. M-E-N-T, N-E-S-S and L-Y. These groups of letters can be added to the end of a root word and they change the meaning or the type of the word that it originally was. So we will have a little look at each one. We will see if we can come up with some words that we could change to fit the rules, and then we'll see whether or not we can use those words in sentences because some of them are a little bit tricky. So we'll see what we can do. Let's start with ly. So ly is added onto an adjective and it makes it into an adverb. So instead of it being an adjective to describe a thing, to describe a noun, it is an adverb which generally adds more detail to a verb. So we could use the word proud, for example. So in order to add the suffix on, all we do is we have the root word. So in this case, the root word is proud. And then we are going to add our ly onto the end to make proudly. So the mum watched the football game proudly. The mum proudly watched the football game. Either or. Proud turned to proudly. We could have the word graceful. So you could have the word graceful. So the graceful swan was in this river. Or we could then change it to be gracefully. So the girl danced gracefully. The swan swam gracefully. Okay, and in those cases, we literally just add ly onto the end. Sometimes it's not quite that straightforward. So if the word already ends in a y, then we have to drop the y for an I and then add the ly on the end. So in the word angry, you can see the word angry ends in a y. So we have to drop the y and add an I. And then after the I, we can add ly. So angry becomes angrily. So if it ends in a Y, drop the Y, add an I, and then the ly goes on the end. So let's have a little go at seeing if we can change these words from these words into their ly equivalent. If we can add the suffix ly onto the end and turn them into an adverb. So we'll use the ones that were there before as well. So can you see if you can change the word graceful, proud, bad, angry, quick, light, lazy, gentle. Trying to find enough room to do it, and narrow. Now, there's one thing that I should have said actually with the word gentle, because it ends in E, we need to drop the E before the ly because we can't have both. So graceful becomes gracefully, proud becomes proudly, bad becomes badly, angrily, we've got to drop that Y for an I before ly. Well done. Quickly is exactly the same. Quickly. In that case, we don't actually need an I. Lazily we do. Lazily. And then gently, we drop the E just for a Y in that one. We just swap the E for the Y. And then narrowly, we add the ly onto the end. So, gracefully, proudly, badly, angrily, quickly, lightly, lazily, gently, and narrowly. And then let's see if we can use them in a sentence. Maybe you can have a go at writing a sentence. I'm just going to verbalise them. So we talked about gracefully already and proudly. Mum shouted angrily that she was going to be late. The child stroked the cat gently. We narrowly missed the goal. I knocked the door lightly and they didn't hear. I slouched lazily onto the sofa. So that adverb is going to tell us more about how we did something. That's why we use an adverb. So we add ly to our adjective and it will become an adverb, and we will be able to use it to add more detail about how we did something. Okay, let's move on because we will quickly run out of time if we do not, to MENT. So exactly the same thing. We are going to add MENT onto the end of our root word, but this time we're going to start with a verb. We're going to start with a doing or being word, and we are going to end up with a noun. Now these ones are definitely a bit more obscure, not necessarily words that we would use all of the time, but it's still an important skill. So this suffix ment will turn a verb into a noun, into a thing. So let's have a go. So literally just the same as we did before, but this time it's ment rather than ly that we're adding on. So we've got the word refresh, enjoy, pay, employ, that means to hire somebody, manage, okay, and treat. Let's just do the one more. Let's just do the word treat. And then super quick and easy, we can just add the ment onto the end of our words, and then we'll have a look at how the word meaning has changed. So can you go through and add ment onto the end of each of the words? It does mean that if you're trying to remember how the words are spelt, that you can break it down. So you can do the root word first, and then you can do the suffix, because you know that the suffix is ment, and that's what will be on the end of the word. So we started with refresh, to freshen something up, and then a refreshment. Yeah, refreshments like tea, coffee, drinks, refreshments like snacks and food and things. Enjoy, yeah, to have a really good time. And then enjoyment, so if I was using that in a sentence, then I would say they got lots of enjoyment from the activity. So it becomes a thing, it becomes a feeling. Pay, I can pay somebody, or the payment is the actual money involved. Employ, so I can employ you, but the employment is the actual you having the job. Manage, so I can manage a situation, or I can manage a group of people. I'm the person that makes the decisions and things like that. Management, that's referring to me as a manager. So it's in referring to me as like the boss, the management of the people that are in charge. And then treat, well, I could treat you to something really nice. And then treatment is to do with the way that you are treated, or potentially a treatment, like if I was going to a spa and I was going to have a lovely massage, that would be a treatment too. So ment is changing that verb into a noun. Trickier, but not beyond the realms of possibility. There is one more. Can you remember what I said that it was? ly, ment, and ness. And these turn adjectives into nouns. So we're ending up with more nouns, but these ones are adjectives that we're starting with. So let's start with the words happy, bright, gloomy. I forgot how to spell the word bright. Gloomy, late, sad, that'll do. I'm struggling to fit any more on. And what we've got here then is we've got the ness on the end. Now, remember with our ly, if it ended in a y, we had to drop the y for an I and then add the ending. Well, that's exactly the same in this situation too. So I can see two words there that end in y. So I'm going to drop the y in both happy and gloomy, and I'm going to add an I. And then I will add the ness. And then in the word bright and the word sad, I can just add the ness straight onto the end. And then we can do exactly the same with the word lateness too. Okay, so we went from being happy to showing happiness, be a thing that I show. We went from bright to brightness. So the brightness of a light bulb might be the amount of lumens that it lets out, but it could just be that I say it's a bright bulb, but the brightness of the bulb could be something a little bit more specific. Gloomy, it could be a gloomy day, or the day could have gloominess. Lateness, yeah, lateness can be the thing. So lateness as a thing will not be tolerated, so it won't be okay to be late. And then sad and sadness, yeah, they can have sadness or show sadness. It's a more complex way, it's a more complicated way of using language, but that is the way that it changes the meaning. It changes it from being an adjective into a noun. So you can have sadness or happiness, or you can show sadness or happiness, whereas you can't show happy or show sad, just because grammatically it doesn't work. So let's see if we can have a go at putting some of these into sentences. So I am going to say, the happiness shone from her. The first word of our sentence, and it is capital T because it's the beginning, and then we've got our word happiness. Now remember, happy, we drop the Y, we add an I before ness. The happiness shone from her. Brilliant. And then a full stop at the end. The happiness shone from her. Okay. She narrowly avoided disappointment. Okay, so we've used that ly to turn the adjective into an adverb to say how it happened. So it was narrowly, she narrowly missed it. She narrowly missed disappointment. So she is our first word. Well done. And then narrow, yeah, and we just add ly on the end. Missed, and that's got ed on the end. Well done, good remembering. She narrowly missed disappointment. Disappoint, and then meant goes on the end, and we need a full stop. And that was one where we didn't have to change it, it just went on it. There we go. She narrowly missed disappointment. What I learned is the word disappointment was a really long word, and I probably should have started a new line. So 3 suffixes today. ly, changing the adjective to an adverb, generally used as an adverbial of manner, so telling us how something happened. ment, changing a verb to a noun. And ness, changing an adjective to a noun. That was tricky stuff today, but you did a great job. Whatever you do with the rest of your day, have a great one. Bye. Hi. So today we are going to have a look at doing some of this. Yep. We are adding, so add, addition, sum, total, greater than, count on. All of those mean exactly the same thing. They mean this and they mean this put together. And that's what we're going to have a look at today. We are going to have a look at 2 two-digit numbers today. So we are going to look at adding a tens and ones number to a tens and ones number. There are lots of different ways that we can do this. We can do this mentally. We can do this by breaking it down. We can do this by using written methods. And there are 2 key ones that we'll have a look at for it. So we are going to have a look at doing that today. We'll look at 2 two-digit numbers added together. Before we start, it's super important that we practice writing those number sentences down. So it would be great if you could have something to write with and something to write on. It doesn't matter what, but that would be really useful. So if you don't have that already, maybe pause the video and then come back to it. So let's start by having a go at writing a number sentence down. Let's see if we can write the number 12 and 15. So 12 and 15. And then don't forget that we will have an equals, because that equals just means is the same as, and we will put what the number, the whole number that is the same as those 2 numbers on the other side. So 12 and 15 equals, and then we'll put the answer on the other side, because it's basically like a little equation, and we'll try and balance that out. So if I wanted to do this in my head, let's look at how I'd break it down. If I was doing this inside my head, I'll write down what would be going on inside my head, and then we can work out where we would go from there. So I would be doing this in my head, I would be saying, right, so 10 and 10 is 20, 2 and 5 is 7, so then 20 and 7 equals 27. So what I did there was I broke it down into its tens and its ones. And I added the tens together first, and then I added the ones together. And then, fundamentally, I remembered to add the tens and the ones together at the end. Now, I could do that with any combination of numbers, so I can do it like mentally in my head. Now, sometimes it's easier to write it down so that you can see sort of where you're going wrong, but it's obviously not the most straightforward way of writing it down. The only reason that I'm doing that is to show you the process that I'm going through. So let's have a go at doing 21 add 15 and see if we can work out that process that we will go through in our heads to add it together mentally. So first of all, we've got to break it into its tens and its ones. We're going to look for the tens first. So we've got 20 and 10. And I know that 20 and 10 is 30. And then we are going to break it into its ones. So we've got 1 and 5 left. I know that to be 6. And then, so we added the tens, added the ones, and then add the answers. So 30 add 6, 36. So I can use that as a way of mentally adding two-digit numbers together quite successfully. Where it becomes a little bit more challenging, potentially, is when the answers don't fall beautifully within 10. So, for example, if I were to do 55 and 26, then I would do 50 and 20, which is 70. Well done, you're quick. And then I would do 5, add 6. Oh, well, I know 5 add 5 is 10. There we go. So 5 add 6 must be 11. So then I've got to do 70, add 11. Now, what I could do, of course, is exactly the same as what I did before. I could do 70, add 10, which I know to be 80. And then I could just add the 1 on, which would be 81. But it does become a little bit more complicated when the answer that we get to has two-digit numbers in. Obviously, if it's 11, that's easy because we can just do 10 and then round up by one more. But that's at the point where it becomes a little bit more complicated. But until then, we can absolutely use that as a method to work out mentally two-digit numbers together by adding the tens, adding the ones, and adding them together. We're going to look at two written methods. We're going to look at using an empty number line, and we are going to look at the column addition way. We'll start with the empty number line. Now, when we're using this, it's super important to remember how we add 10 onto any given number. So we add 10 by changing the tens and the ones stay the same. So if I'd got the number 26 and I wanted to add 10, the 6 would stay the same and it would be the 2 that changes to a 3. So 26 and 10, 36. That's important to remember for this one. So for this one, let's have a go at doing 28 add 12. So we're going to have that empty number line with 28 at the end. And then what we have to do is we have to consider how 12 is made up. It's made up of 10 and 2 more. So I'm going to do a big jump for 10 and then 2 little jumps for the 2 more. Now I'm going to do it where I write the 10's answer here and then I'll write the 1's answer here, because what that allows me to do is to come back and see any of my mistakes. So 28, 10 more would be 38. So I'll add that in. And then 38, 39, 40, 40. I'm going to write that in on my number line and after my equals sign, just in case I want to go back and prove my working out, or I want to go back because I made a mistake or something like that. The more information that I put on there, the easier it becomes for me. Now, I can also use this method if I'm adding on numbers with more than one 10. So if I was adding a 20s number or a 30s number, or I can use this method then. I would always start with my biggest number first when I'm adding, and then I would do the jumps that I needed to on my number line. And the most important thing, the bit where most people go wrong when they're using a number line, is that they forget to go from counting in tens to then counting in ones. So we just have to switch our brains from tens counting into ones counting. And although this isn't the quickest way of adding, it is a way that means that we gain a really good understanding of what we are doing. We can spot our mistakes much more easily. And so while we're learning, this is a really good method to use, because we can see exactly what it is that is happening. We can see how much more those numbers are growing, and that allows us to do lots of things, like predict and to see when we've made mistakes. And then when we're working with bigger numbers and we're using other methods, we can predict whether or not the answer could be right, or whether we must have made a mistake because of the size of the numbers. So it is one that is worth persevering with. So let's have a go at doing 37 and 24. Okay, so this time we are going to do 37 and 24. We'll put 37 at the end, and then 24 is made up of how many tens? 2. And how many ones? 4. So that's 2 big jumps and then 4 little jumps. Remember, making sure those jumps are really clear, really helpful when it comes to actually using them, and big enough that we can fit either a pen nib or a finger in them to use them for counting. So we've got 37 here. Now I've got 2 tens jumps here. I'm going to put an answer here and here, and then I'll do the last bit, because that way, if I do make a mistake, I can very clearly see where I went wrong. So 37 goes to 47, 47 goes to 57, brilliant. So I'm at 57 and I'm going to say, stop, switch to my ones brain, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61. Okay. Now again, I'm going to put that in here, because then if I did want to add any more on, then I could do that. I would be able to use that number line to do that really easily. Let's try one more like this, and then we'll try a few using a different method. So let's try doing the number sentence. 59 and 34. 59 add 34. I must really like numbers that end in 4 today. I didn't even realise. So empty number line, 59 at the end, and then 34 is made up of how many tens? 3, so we need 3 big jumps, and then 4 little jumps for the 4 ones. So our empty number line should look like this. And then from 59, 10 more is, this one changes, 69, 79, 89. Right, I'm briefly just going to put those in so that I don't forget either. So 69, 79, 89. And then switch my brain to my ones brain, and I'm going to count in ones. So we had 89, 90, 91, 92, 93. And when it comes to switching to that one's brain, it's super important to remember that this is the number that we start from. So the jump is the next number. So 89, 90, 91, 92, 93. And that is part of the reason why I love using a number line, and I love doing it where the jumps are big enough that I can fit my counting finger in, because I know that I'm starting at 89, which is my number that's on the bottom of the number line, and then I can press each one as I go. Or you can do it with the nib of your pencil, or whatever you're writing with, but that way I know. And if I'm doing one that's like a bigger number that I'm adding on, then I'll always dot in between the little ones as I go, because that way, if I miss one, it's really clear that there's not a dot there, and then I can see that that's the mistake that I made. And then we're going to look at one more method that we could use to add tens and ones numbers together. And this method is column addition. And it's super important when we use column addition that we get the columns underneath each other. The layout for this is vital, because if we get the layout wrong, when we come to adding either hundreds, tens and ones numbers to tens and ones numbers, or we end up adding a mix of tens and ones numbers and just ones numbers, if we don't get the layout right, we don't get the answer right. So if we wanted to add together 54 and 12, then it would look like this, because my tens go here and my ones go here. Now, if you were using squared paper, you could put one number per square and then it would be quite clear to see. But in actual fact, I can do it really clearly where I just line them up. So my tens go here and my ones go here. And when I come to adding them together, I'm always going to start with my ones. So I'm always going to start here and work this way across. And they're going to, my answer will need to sit underneath that number. So 4 and 2 is 6. So I'll write that one in underneath, and then 5 add 1 is 6. So I'll write that in there. But when we're doing column addition, we always start this side and we move across this way. Now, if we get the layout right, this can be a really quick way of adding 2-digit numbers together. So today we are looking at materials. Now, in the story that I read called Clean Up, they found lots of materials. They found lots of rubbish on the beach. They weren't very happy about them. They had to clear them up. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. Brilliant story. But for today's session, there are 2 words that we will need to know. There are the word object and the word material. Now, the object is the thing. So maybe like a mug or a bottle or a pen. They're the thing, they are the object, and then the material is the thing that that object is made from. So my mug is made from it's crockery. The bottle that I showed you is plastic, as is the pen that I showed you. But there are more materials than just plastic, crockery, and they were the only 2, weren't they? Than plastic and crockery. This one is made from glass. What about the candle? What's the candle made from? Wax. Yeah, well done. What about this? What about my headband? Yeah, it's made from fabric. Oh, well done. What about my gingerbread man? Yeah, he's made from fabric too. You're very right. My coin is made from metal. Well done. My book is made from paper. Yeah, well done. Oh, I've got a box here. The box is made from cardboard. My tool? Yeah, absolutely. My tool is made from metal. It's not all metal, actually. It has a rubber handle as well. It has a rubber grip. And we can talk about why that might be a little bit later on. But why isn't everything just made from the same thing? Partly because that one thing would run out. If we made everything from paper, then we would have no trees, because it's where the paper comes from, but we would have no paper left. Yeah, if we made everything from the same thing, that source would run out. Also though, if we made everything from the same thing, then they wouldn't necessarily have the best properties. So the property is the characteristics of that thing. So my gingerbread man is soft and he's squishy and he's flexible and he's cozy. Yeah, he's all of those things. If he was made out of glass, would he be soft and squishy and flexible? No, of course he wouldn't. Also, he wouldn't be very good as a puppet to go on my hand if he was made out of glass, because he would be rigid, so he wouldn't move around. And glass is really breakable, so he would be a lot more delicate too than he is. And that's not really useful if I'm making a puppet. In exactly the same way, my bottle here is made from glass. Would my glass bottle, so this is holding like a body spray in it, so it has a little aspirator on the top that will spray. So that bit is slightly different. That is made of metal, and then actually inside, all the insides are plastic. But the outside of my bottle is glass. Would it be a good idea for me to make my bottle out of fabric, like I made my puppet from? No, of course it wouldn't be a good idea for me to make it from fabric. Do you know why though? Because it does need to be hard and rigid. Yes, absolutely. Yes, because the glass is waterproof. So if I were to run this underneath the tap, the water would just run off it. Nothing would get inside. And so that works the same the other way around. Once they've put it in, as long as it's got some sort of lid on it, even if it's a spray one, I have to press that down before it will release anything. So once it's got a lid on it, I can hold it upside down and shake it around. The liquid can't get out from inside the glass bottle because the glass is waterproof. So that works both ways round. Do you think the gingerbread man is waterproof? No, he's absolutely not. The fabric would absorb, it would soak up all of the water. And so I might have a nice smelling, well, it would be in the shape of a bottle because we were talking about making a bottle, weren't we? So I might have a nice smelling bottle, but I wouldn't have anything left to spray on me because it would have soaked into the fabric. So fabric's not the best for making bottles, but glass isn't the best for making puppets. Do you think that all bottles need to be glass? No. What else could you make a bottle from? Yeah, this one and this one are both made from, they're both made from plastic. Now, one of the things that we liked about this one was that it was see-through. So I could see my liquid in that. This one is see-through, but it's plastic. This one is not, but it's still made of plastic. So both of these bottles are made of plastic, but this is white plastic and this is transparent plastic, so I can see through this one. Exactly the same thing though, is waterproof from the outside in and the inside out. So whatever I do, it's not coming out, which means that if I were to run it under water, the water would just run off. I wouldn't get any more out, which if for a liquid, if you're trying to hold a liquid, so like hand soap, or this is like a spray on my face, that's really important. We don't want them to mix with water until it's out. Okay, what about then if I were making a book? Why is paper a good thing to make my book from? It's light. It's easy to write on, yeah, to write or print on. It's thin. It's flexible. Yeah, I think all of those are great ideas for why it would be good to make a book out of paper. Now, some books, so this book is made of paper and the pages are quite thin, and that's quite sort of traditional for a book. Some books are made from cardboard and they're sort of laminated, so they have like a shiny finish on them, particularly books that are aimed at younger children or babies. And the idea behind this is it's actually quite difficult to flick the pages in a book. It takes quite a lot of control. So if the page is thicker, if it's made out of cardboard, then a baby can flick the page. They can learn how to turn the pages of the book. And when they have a shiny surface, it's kind of like a plasticized surface, so that if something happens, if the baby is sick on the book or puts the book in their mouth or all the lovely things that babies do, then it's wiped clean. Whereas if I put my book in my mouth, what would happen to the paper? The paper would absorb some of the water, enough of the water that over time I would ruin the book. And also the ink on the page of a book would run if it came into contact with liquid, with the water. So none of those things are really ideal. So the makers of books, the publishers of books, came up with board books, thicker cardboard books, so that babies could enjoy books in the same way, but they wouldn't get destroyed. What a clever idea. We talked about my tool earlier. Why is my tool made from metal, do you think? Also, what do you know about metal? It's hard. It's cold. Yeah, that's what I was noticing. It's cold. So it's hard, it's cold. Sometimes it's shiny, although this isn't super shiny. It's very strong, you're right. Now this tool is made for, if I go the right way, is made for clamping onto bolts and then twisting them and undoing them. So it's super important that this is really strong. It has to be stronger than the thing that I'm trying to turn around. Why do you think that they chose to put a rubber handle on it? Yeah, metal is a bit slippy. And we already talked about the fact that it's hard and it's cold. So they put a rubber handle on, so you've got a grippier bit to hold on to, but also it's not as cold. So it's not as slippy and it's not as cold. And it's also a little bit softer on your hand rather than the metal if what you've got to do is particularly stiff. So there are lots of different materials that we can make things out of, and there are lots of different reasons why we might choose to make it out of that material. So earlier on I spoke about my mug being crockery, being ceramic. I didn't show you anything else that was, but can you think of anything else that is? Yes, like plates and bowls and things like that. It's shiny. It certainly absorbs a little bit of heat, but it's not burning me. And my handle means that I definitely won't. What would happen if I dropped it? Yeah, it would break. It would break, you're right. Which is why it's not ideal for making lots of things from. But what would happen if my mug were made from plastic, like my cup? My cup is great for cold drinks. My straw is plastic too. They're great for cold drinks, but they wouldn't be perfect for the type of drink that I put inside my mug. Do you know why? Yeah, because plastic melts. So plastic is great if we want to have a cold drink or a cool drink, but if we're going to use boiling water in a mug, then having it made out of plastic isn't the best idea. So we thought of more things that were made of crockery, of ceramic. Can we think of some more things that are made of metal? So tools. What else do you know that's made of metal? Remember what you know about it. It's strong, sturdy, shiny. Cars. Cars are made from metal. Yeah, they absolutely are. Coins? Money? Yeah? Okay, what about glass? So this is made from glass. This bit. This is made from glass. Yes, there was a glass bottle earlier. Well done. What else is made from glass? Windows are made from glass. They absolutely are. Do you know why? Strong, waterproof, transparent. Absolutely. What about fabric? What other things can you think of that are made of fabric? So my toy is my puppet. My headband was. What else is made from fabric? Our clothes. Maybe bedding, curtains. Yeah, there are loads of things that are made from fabric, aren't there? My cushions are made from fabric. There are loads of things that are made from fabric. And it's good because it's flexible and it can be lots of different patterns, and we can sew it together into different shapes. Yeah, fabric's a great thing for lots of things, but it wouldn't be good for building a car from or for making bottles from. Wow, we did a really good job today. Remember those 2 words, object, the thing, and material, the thing that the object is made from. So the fabric, or the glass, or the plastic, or the ceramic, or the fabric. Wow. You did an incredible job today. Whatever you do with the rest of your day, have a great one. Bye-bye.
Hello Angel students. Today I would like us to discuss the power of a decision. The power of a decision. So we have discussed purpose and emotional health and well-being. We have discussed planning and the importance of planning. Once you have decided what it is that you want to go more in depth with in terms of what you are strong with, where your strengths lie, and what you're passionate about. So the power of a decision and what you have decided, A, you want to go into in more depth, and B, the fact that you want to do that so much so that you want to put a plan together and stick to the plan. That's a huge decision. A beautiful one, but a decision all the same. So let's talk about the power of a decision. Of course, how it relates to your emotional health and well-being, as well as your passions. Well, when we make a decision, it's usually because we want something or we want to change something. So in this case, we have decided, I want to do this, I want to try this, I want to pursue this, I want to become this. And so that's the decision. So now that decision has already began to build momentum. It's began to run with an energy that has decided, oh, this person has decided this is what they want. So what can we do to get and keep the wheels in motion and everything positively moving forward? Because this is where we turn the decision, our dreams, into reality. And an important part to remember here is that it's your passion, it's your vision, it's your dream. It doesn't matter if anybody else likes it, agrees with it, thinks it's a good idea, thinks you'd be good at it. It's yours. It's what you enjoy. It's what you've chosen. It's what you know works for you and that you will be great at it. So also, when you've made your decision, you've placed power in that decision. So put your belief and knowing into your decision and leave it there. Let it grow. Like when you plant a seed, leave it there. Nurture it, look after it, watch over it, give it what it needs. This is where your plan comes in. But you know it's going to grow because you're doing everything to help it grow. You're doing everything. You've got it in the perfect environment. It's getting sunlight. It's getting water. So this is your plan. It's creative. It's fun. It's motivating. It's inspiring. It's rewarding. So you're going to get the result. That plant, that flower is going to grow. So what's so important about a decision anyway? What's all this about a decision? I'm going to tell you. A decision is the master key that unlocks limitless possibilities. Limitless possibilities. It's a commitment to yourself to follow your dreams, listen to your heart, and do what feels right within you. Do what feels true and good for you. Keeping your promise and your word for you. To you, because your passion is something that excites you, right? It's something that brings you joy, makes you happy. You enjoy thinking about it, so you can get lost in imagination and ideas and a world of creativity. It makes your heart sing. And once you discover that, that is really a thing of beauty. That is so, so special. If you are fortunate and special enough to understand and reveal your passions and feel them and know that, yeah, I'm really passionate about this, that alone is a gift. So when you've been given a gift like that and you make a decision to follow that, listen to your heart and follow your heart, how can it not be powerful? So when you understand the power of your decision, you will then be able to face any obstacles or challenges with relative ease, because you know that is just to grow you. It's just to teach you something along this journey. And remember, we want to have fun along the journey. We want to enjoy the journey. The destination is important, yes. Accomplishing your goal is important, of course. Getting to that point of reward because you've reached the end of your goal is absolutely important. We want to celebrate, we want to have fun, we want to enjoy. But it is all part of the journey. Sometimes things will happen, obstacles or challenges will come up, and it will feel like maybe this isn't for me, maybe this isn't what I should be doing, maybe this isn't what I should be pursuing, maybe I'm not so strong or good or even passionate about this after all. But you see, there is another opportunity for another decision, but you've already made one. So stick to it, because you made it for a reason, and you made it because it was a good decision for you. So do not allow things that you are supposed to figure out, because they're going to exercise your muscle memory, because they're going to exercise your achievement memory, by running away from it. Remember, when you continue and you persevere and you reach your goals, that sense of achievement that it gives you, and also that things that are usually easy are not usually worth having. Obstacles and challenges are there to make us wiser. That's all. They're just there to make us wiser. They are in no way, shape or form failure. They're very different. Two very, very different things. Obstacles and challenges are one thing. They can be overcome. You can learn from them and you can progress. Failure, something completely different. Okay? So always remember that even though you might have a challenge or an obstacle, it is just something saying to you, is this the way we want to do it? Or I think you should learn something really important here, because it could change your entire life. It could change the thing that you're passionate about to make you even more passionate about it, if that's possible. There's always opportunity for growth, always opportunity for growth. If you decide that you want to keep growing, if you decide that you're going to keep going no matter what, because you have a desire within your heart and you are going to see it come to reality. So get used to thinking creatively, and if you need to, ask for help. There is always someone out there that can probably help, who's more than likely been in that position 1 or 2 times before. So they may have the answers that you need. Never think that you can't ask for help. Always ask for help if you feel you need it. By staying true to your passion and your decision, you may even inspire others. It's very likely that you will inspire others. You will inspire them with the way that you handle your decision and the way that you stick to your decision, and you will inspire them to do the same. Make decisions of their own, find passions of their own. And not only that, but because you have been doing that, you will be able to help them. Your journey is unique. Everyone's journey is unique. So as long as it's productive and it brings you joy, then it is absolutely worth continuing with, persevering with, and making sure you see as your reality. I'll give you a little something to research here. I would think we have all heard of Harry Potter. So if you've heard of Harry Potter, you know that it was originally a book, and then it became a series of movies. Just like it was a series of books, it became a series of movies also. So the author, being J.K. Rowling, if you were to research how many times her story was rejected, nobody wanted to publish her story, but she didn't give up. She didn't see it as a failure. She just saw it as an obstacle, that she was maybe speaking to the wrong publishers, because eventually someone decided, yeah, we're going to publish that. And can you imagine all the other publishers? And this is what I want you to have a look at. I want you to have a look and see if you can find the amount, as in the figure, the number of times that her book was rejected. How many times Harry Potter was rejected until a publisher said, I'm going to take a chance on this, until a publisher made a decision to publish her book. How many times was she told no before she finally got a yes? And can you imagine how the rest of those publishers must feel that said no? Because Harry Potter went on to be a legendary name. Most households know Harry Potter. Whether you've read it or you've watched it, you definitely more than likely heard the name. So that's something I'd like you to have a look at. See if you can find how many times J.K. Rowling was told no before she got her heart's desire, and just one person made the decision to believe in her and printed her book. So Angel students, I would like to encourage you to remember that our futures are shaped by the decisions that we make. Sometimes it might not seem like it's such an important decision, but every decision matters. So sometimes take a little extra time out when you're making a decision to make sure it really is the right one for you. Without influence, what does it mean to you? You know you. You know if something feels good and if it doesn't. So be confident in your decisions so that when you make a decision, you're happy with it, you're comfortable with it, you're at peace with it, because it will have an impact in your life and it is going to have a positive impact. So embrace your decisions. Be proud of your decisions. Be happy with your decisions so that when you make them, you're absolutely content with what you've decided, because you understand the power that there is in decisions. Believe in your purpose and your passions and your decisions, even if others don't. You can't win everybody over, but you can win within. Stay dedicated and just know that you will make a positive impact on this world. Enjoy the rest of your day, Angel student. Bye-bye.
Hello everybody, and follow me and let's do a quick exercise for the joints first. Starts with 1 foot wide. Exercise for wrists and ankles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, change. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Knees. 1, 2, 3. Change. 1, 2, 3. Change. 1, 2, 3. Your hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Change. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Elbow on. Hands reach out far as you can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Change. One hand up, one hand down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Follow your elbow, look back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Arms straight, relax your shoulders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Change. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Shoulders down, head up, neck. 1, slowly. 2, 3, change. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Follow me, let's practice a little bit basic punch. Clench your fist, elbow back. Punch forward, breathing out. Slowly, like moving meditation. 2. Feel how you move. 3. Don't have to use power. 4. Make sure you reach out to maximum. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Little bit power. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Okay. Inhale. And exhale. And let's practice first Kung Fu stance. 3.5 foot point. 1, 2, 3.5. Bend your knee. You can keep your elbow on your knee, pushing down. Breathing in, look forward. Breathing out, turn your body. 1. Breathing in. And breathing out. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Okay, good. From here, you can practice jump to Mawu and step up 10 times. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Second Kung Fu stance, Kung Fu. One leg bent, one leg straight. When you feel stretch, focus on your breathing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Change. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Let's practice one more stretch. Then we're going to do the routine together for a few times. Cross your fingers, hands up. When you feel stretch, focus on your breathing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Imagine the push the seat in. Change. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 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 Heel up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 3 foot wide. Lean forward from your hands. Tell your body to feel stretch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Change. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Trace your hands touch the floor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Inhale and exhale. So we're gonna practice a routine together. We'll start from here. 1, clench your fist, elbow back, look left. 2, marble, hands block, benching knees. 2, punch. 3, down leg elbow strike. Yeah. Then block, punch. Then block. 1, 2, 3. Kick again. This time, both hands block and punch. And stop. One more time. I'm gonna face this way. And see the movement a little bit better. 1, clench your face, breathing in, elbow strike. You don't have to go too quick, no power, just technique. 2, both leg bend and punch. 3, kick, right elbow. Then right hand block, left hand push, punch. And this time, feet together, right hand block, stand up. This time, kick your right leg again. And this time, both elbow strike. Then punch. Stop. For me, one more time. Exactly same, slightly little bit power. 1, elbow. 2, punch. 3, kick. Elbow. Punch. Block. Facing your waist. Down pedal. Both elbow. First one elbow. This one, both elbow. Punch. And stop. Inhale, hands on. And exhale. Okay, let's practice 3 breathing exercises. Help your body recovering. Follow me. 1, 2, 2 foot wide. Body upright. Normal breathing in through your nose. While you're collecting all the good energy to repair your body. Breathing out, relax your shoulders, elbow, hands pushing down. Imagine use your hands touch the floor, whole body relax. Release the tension from your body. 2 more times. Breathing in. And breathing out. Last one, breathing in and breathing
and subscribe so you could get more and more lessons.